So the first thing that I thought, I was like, no, I'm not gonna get the role because I had braces.
You just crushed it.
And I couldn't believe it. And after that, I called my dad, and then I told my mom, and
Amigas de mamás latinas, hoy me toca hablar en inglés, pues estoy hablando con dos megaestrellas de Hollywood. Me refiero a Sofía Castro and Ben Milliken. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
good, we're good.
Sofía, let me tell you, I watched the movie. It's such a beautiful, very well-made movie. And I have to say this because I am very critical about movies, let me tell you, especially nowadays. But this movie combines love, violence, adventure, the cartel world. But this also marks your Hollywood debut. How was it for you to do a project completely in English?
Well, it is, and it was a dream come true. I'm really grateful with Ben for giving me this opportunity, for giving me Valentina, and to trust and to give me that beautiful role and this beautiful movie. For me, it's a huge step in my career. I've been working so hard since I was a little kid, and I mean, it was a huge, big process. It was a 8-scene audition that Ben made me do it that day, and then a callback, and then another callback, until I finally got the role. And I remember the day that I met Ben in the callback. I had braces. So the first thing that I thought, I was like, no, I'm not gonna get the role because I had braces. And I did the first audition without braces. So I mean, it's been a journey. So I'm really grateful, and for me, it's a dream come true.
Ben, once you got Sofía, once you casted Sofía, or before, did you Google her? I mean, Sofía is a huge star in Mexico, in Latin America. Everybody loves her mom. And now in the US.
Yeah. No, it was really important. I said to my casting director, who is an absolute genius, his name's Joseph Middleton, and he's an absolute genius when it comes to casting. And I said to him, I want to make sure that this role, there were a couple roles that were really important to me. And this role was one of them. I mean, they were all important, don't get me wrong. But I wanted to see the best possible performance. I mean, this part it was an 8-scene audition. Almost every scene in the movie, because we had to see the entire range. So I really wasn't focused on Googling people and doing that kind of stuff, because to me, ultimately, you know, the movie comes first. You know, Googling somebody isn't going to help me make a good movie. What's going to help me make a really good movie is how well this person brings a character to life, how I can work with them, how well we get along, what's the vibe of the two people, and how are we going to be when we go through this entire process, because making a movie it can be a challenge sometimes. So I got Sofía's tape first, and it's just crushed it, just blew everybody out of the water. I said, great, let's meet, let's set up a callback on a meeting and all of that sort of stuff. Still didn't Google it. I told him. And yeah, speaking of the braces, the first thing that Sofía says was, "Don't look at my mouth." And then I was like, okay, yeah, this is, not only was she extremely talented, not only did she crush every scene of the audition, but she was a real person. She showed up with, "Don't look at my mouth." You know what I mean? And those are little things that, you know, you can't create those. And so I was like, okay, this person's going to be able to bring this to this character. That's the person for this role. And then I Googled it. And I was like, oh,
she's
Okay.
a huge deal. Sofía, does this mean that we will no longer see you in telenovelas, or are you planning to do both, or you're going to leave Mexico behind and completely focus in Hollywood?
No, well, first of all, thank you, Ben. Thank you for all these beautiful flowers. No, I think I'm gonna be in Mexico and also in the States. I like to do everything, you know. I like to do movies, I like to do TV shows, I like to do soap opera. So I'm gonna be making everything that I can.
Ben, how was it for you? This is mostly a Spanish-speaking Latino cast. How was it for you to be around all of these Latinos, which I assume, you know, off camera, they would speak Spanish? Did you learn some Spanish words? Did you try some Mexican food? How was the experience?
Mexico is one of my favorite countries in the whole world. I fell in love with the country back in 2015 when I was shooting a movie there in Sonora. And the people, the culture, the language, everything about it, just, I don't know, it just feels like life to me. So it was really energizing and beautiful and wonderful. It was one of those experiences that feels like a dream, and I'm still waiting to wake up from, to tell you the truth. And also it did serve the purpose of the story. SNAG, that he is a fish out of water. He's the guy that never felt like he belonged. And he always has some kind of barrier that he places there himself to keep him from getting truly close to people. And so where do we put an Australian?
In the desert in Mexico.
It's a complete opposite, where we would really not expect to see him, you know, flourish, and we put him there in a place that he falls in love with a person he falls in love with, surrounded by people that he loves.
Sofía, what was your mom and your dad's reaction when you told them that you got the role?
They cried. Actually, they cried. Of course, I cried. I was at the phone and I couldn't believe it. And after that, I called my dad, and then I told my mom, and I mean, they cried. My sisters cried. I showed Ben the videos. You remember that I showed you when I told my entire family that I was doing the movie. So yeah, they're really happy, and they already watched the movie and they loved it.
Ben, you are the producer of the film, the director of the film, and the main character of the film, and you did all of them. It was amazingly, I mean, I was very impressed at your acting, but also, how did you manage to wear 3 different hats in a movie? Like, did you stop yourself when you did something wrong in the middle of the scene as the director? How does that work, to be the producer, director, and main character in a movie?
It was wonderful because it was completely egoless. It was a really fun process of taking myself out of the equation, taking my own, you know, the things that we have, the insecurities and self-doubts and all of those sorts of things, because there was something bigger than me, and that was the film. So the film became the most important thing. So if I'm doing a scene, right, and we're no, stop, bad acting, let's do it again. It's like from me. And it was fantastic because I had no problem saying that. It afforded me the luxury of being able to look at myself completely objectively. And it was a very out-of-body freeing experience. But I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was the best experience I've had on a film set in my life.
Hola a todas mis amigas de Mamás Latinas, soy Sofía Castro y no se pierdan SNAG, les va a encantar.